This is a different story, though it does relate to the Congress. This is an exclusive slice of news for you. Senior Congress leader Jagdish Tytler is going to be questioned by the CBI. He's been summoned today. He has reached the CBI headquarters. He's being questioned in the Sikh 1984 riots case. This is particularly in the Pul Bangash gurdwara fire case. Reportedly, sources are saying new evidence has emerged. He has, as we speak, already reached the CBI headquarters. He's been called specifically to a CFSL lab for voice sampling. Tytler is 74. Remember, he's facing trial in a case on his alleged involvement in the killing of 3 people by a mob in the 1984 riots. Now, we're going to bring you more context in just a second. You'll remember the BJP has often raised questions as to why Jagdish Tytler has been seen participating in multiple very important meetings while this case and its proceedings were still going on. My colleague Pallavi is with us right now to bring us more context. Pallavi, the 1984 Anti-Sikh Riots and Jagdish Tytler's alleged involvement in that once again in focus. Tytler, a 74-year-old, has reportedly already appeared in front of the CBI. Bring us more context on what he's going to be quizzed about today, please.
Well, so the last time Jagdish Tytler was really seen in public was actually at a Congress function. Recently, the Congress also had a candlelight march. They had a protest as a Rajghat against what they call the corruption and parliament democracy being compromised. Jagdish Tytler was very much there. Jagdish Tytler is also present there at all Congress events. This has always given an ammunition to the BJP to hit back at the Congress that your lip service as far as apology for the 1984 Sikh riots is concerned. Now, as far as Jagdish Tytler is concerned, being going to the CBI headquarters, he's been one of the persons who's been accused of instigating the violence. There are people, there are witnesses who claim they actually saw Jagdish Tytler inciting the mob, instigating some of the mobs to go and attack those Sikh families, women who are being attacked, some women allegedly raped, so on and so forth. And Jagdish Tytler was one of the leaders of that crowd which used to instigate the mobs to attack the Sikh population during the 1984 Sikh riots.
Pallavi, bring our audience's context here before we go over to political leaders. What is the context here when it comes to the different kind of action we've seen taken against Tytler by investigative agencies since 1984? Because there's a history of courts looking at this, investigative agencies looking at this. Can you bring us context?
So there was a Nanavati Commission report which was tabled by the then BJP government on the floor of the House in Parliament. In that, a mention was, of course, made to Jagdish Tytler as being one of the Congress leaders, along with Sajjan Kumar, who had instigated the crowds. HKL Bhagat also was very much mentioned. However, a clean sheet was given to the former Madhya Pradesh Chief Minister and Union Minister Kamal Nath. Now, the allegation against these 3 leaders has been that they were the ones who were seen. There have been not one, but multiple eyewitness accounts who had actually seen Jagdish Tytler leading the crowd, instigating, providing material for targeting the homes of the Sikh population. Now, when he goes into the CBI headquarters for that investigation, of course, these questions and the eyewitness accounts will be placed before him. He will, of course, have to defend himself. But if you ask me, politically speaking, of course, it's going to be damaging for the Congress because, as I just mentioned, Toya, there have been multiple occasions when he has been seen as Congress events at that protest march, at the coronation ceremony, so-called, of Mallikarjun Kharge as a Congress president. So the Congress has never distanced itself from Jagdish Tytler. He has been a part of the campaign committee for the MCD elections as well. So this question will be asked of the Congress top leadership, the Gandhis, that you may have apologized and regretted the 1984 Sikh riots, but those who are believed to be a part of it because of the eyewitness accounts, why have you involved them in your party affairs?
Okay, just bring us context, Pallavi, because the Nanavati Commission report came out in 2005, as you were saying. Can you just bring us context of what took place between 2005 and today, before the CBI has called him in right now for questioning?
There have been occasions when his name has come up, and Jagdish Tytler, whenever we've asked him this question, he says, I've never been convicted. He claims he has been exonerated. But remember, recently a decision was taken to reopen the 1984 Sikh riot files. and therefore, as a part of the reopening, there is going to be a reinvestigation. The doubt has always been raised: was there hurried closure as far as the 1984 Sikh Riots investigation is concerned? And it's in that context that Jagdish Tytler is one of the first ones who has been now called to the CBI headquarters to respond to these questions.
Okay, thank you for bringing us that context. Pallavi, if I could just ask you to stay with us because we're going to have political leaders. I'll want to come back just to verify what they say. Manjinder Singh Sirsa with us right now on the phone. Sirsa is a former member of the Delhi Legislative Assembly. He is also with us right now. He's from the BJP. Mr. Sirsa, thank you for joining us this morning on CNN News 18. Mr. Sirsa, how do you look at the CBI calling Tytler in right now to take his voice samples?
I would like to update about this case first. This case was reopened on my application itself by the CBI court way back in 2018.
Okay.
In fact, 2017. At that point of time, the clean sheet was given, earlier the clean sheet was given by CBI. Thereafter, we moved the court, stressing that we got two witnesses who were there at Gurdwara Pul Bangash when Jagdish Tytler came there and he attacked the Gurdwara and killed innocent people. We moved the application before the court, and after that, the CBI was forced to withdraw its clean sheet and further investigate the case. Now, in the latest development, just a couple of days back, by the order of the magistrate, one of the witness has disposed before the magistrate under 164, section 154 statement has been given before the magistrate. And thereafter, now magistrate is bound, and even the CBI is bound to go further and investigate. And I'm sure in the coming days, you will see that Jagdish Tytler will be arrested in this case.
Okay, sir, I want to ask you to comment on one last aspect here, because I do want to put forth what the Congress has argued. They've said, look, Sajjan Kumar, convicted for life, you don't see him anywhere, but Jagdish Tytler was never actually convicted. To that, sir, the BJP has raised a card. They've said, look, that doesn't stand by. The Congress itself was in power. But I just want to understand from you, sir, how do you personally respond to this?
The question, same answer was for Sajjan Kumar also. The Congress used to say that Sajjan Kumar is neither indicted, neither is convicted. But after the UPA government went out, the investigation was done fairly by the investigation agency, and the trial took out, and then Sajjan Kumar was sentenced for a life sentence, and not in just one case. The other case judgment will be soon pronounced. But now the same is situation with Jagdish Tytler also, because Congress was there. They were not allowing the investigation agencies to fairly investigate the case, and now the agencies are investigating. I'm sure Jagdish Tytler will be also behind jail soon.
Okay, all right, sir. Thank you for joining us. Let's go over to Pallavi, who remains with us on this entire story. All right, before we're able to do that, we will re-establish our connection with Pallavi. But remember, the BJP has always reacted very strongly to the inclusion of Jagdish Tytler in any of the Congress's events. Their argument has been that these charges have not been removed from him. They've said that the CBI, and that is correct, that the CBI is still investigating them. You'll remember most recently, back in November 2022, the Congress Election Committee had included Jagdish Tytler in their committee for the Delhi MCD polls. The BJP had reacted very strongly to it then too. Now, very quickly, I'm going to walk you through reactions and then we'll come back. All right, before we're able to do that, we're actually going to walk you to a phono that we have with us. I believe we actually have someone who suffered during the 1984 riots, Atma Singh Lubna, who's with us on the phone. Thank you so much for joining us. How do you look at this development? मैम, आप मेरी आवाज़ सुन पा रहे हैं?
हाँ जी
सर, आप मेरी आवाज़ सुन पा रहे हैं?
Yes.
Sir, how do you react to this development? Tytler right now at the CBI headquarters as we speak. Sir, इस पे आपकी क्या प्रतिक्रिया है?
देखो, ऐसा है, इसको तो आज से 40 साल पहले ही इनको बुला के इसको अरेस्ट करना चाहिए था। तो जो गवर्नमेंट है, जो पिछली सरकारें रही हैं, इन्होंने बचाने का काम किया है, लेकिन इन्होंने हर बार जो विटनेस को टैग करके उसको उनको धमका के उनको खरीदने का काम किया, और टाइटलर हमेशा बचता रहा है इस नाम से। लेकिन मेरे को अब उम्मीद है कि ये जो गवर्नमेंट है, इस गवर्नमेंट में ऐसा नहीं होएगा और बहुत जल्द टाइटलर जो है इस केस में अरेस्ट होगा और अंदर जाएगा।
सर, आपने पहले भी कहा है, एज फार बैक एज 2009, आपने पहले भी कहा है कि आपको जगदीश टाइटलर के अगेंस्ट स्टेटमेंट रिकॉर्ड करना था। आप हमें इसके बारे में और बता सकते हैं, आप कैसा स्टेटमेंट रिकॉर्ड करना चाह रहे थे?
मैडम, ये ना सीबीआई का मैटर है। तो सीबीआई के मैटर मेरे को सारी सीबीआई जो कर रही है, क्यों बुलाया, मेरी इसकी सबकी जानकारी है मेरे को, लेकिन मैं ना इसको डिस्क्लोज नहीं करना चाहता।
ओके।
तो मैडम प्लीज इसको ना वो उनको करने दो, और जो सीबीआई करेगी वो अच्छा ही करेगी, कोई ऐसा कुछ नहीं है, वो पक्षपात नहीं करेगी, वो हमारे को न्याय दिलाएगी।
ऑलराइट, आत्मा सिंह लुबना जी, हमारे साथ जुड़ने के लिए धन्यवाद। आत्मा सिंह लुबना is one of a number of people, including Chain Singh, Resham Singh and Santosh Singh, who've all expressed their desire in the past to make statements against Jagdish Tytler. They've asked to record statements against Tytler as a witness, and in the past, you've had the court say no to this. The court has in the past made it clear that they will not entertain applications filed, as they've described it, randomly. Now let's go over to RP Singh from the BJP, who's also with us on this story. Mr. Singh, thank you for joining us this morning on CNN News 18. Mr. Singh, a big development in the Jagdish Tytler case. Tytler being called in right now. Reportedly, he'll be asked questions. His voice sample will then be taken over to a laboratory for testing. So how is the BJP viewing this development?
But this case is not over, although Congress has been again and again saying that the case is over, and Tytler has been saying that I'm not there in any of the cases. Fact is that in the Pul Bangash case, his name is there and then it's still under investigation. One. Secondly, also that one of his colleagues that time, Sheikh Verma, is on record, and then his the lie detector test has also taken place, where he has said on record that it was a Tytler who has sent the witnesses abroad and has paid some money to the witnesses also. So this is a case which is still on, and then we are hopeful that ultimately justice will come in the Pul Bangash case, where 2 Sikhs were killed. The employees of the gurdwara were killed by a mob led by Mr. Tytler.
Okay, all right. Mr. Singh, thank you for joining us this morning on CNN News 18. Various BJP leaders calling us right now, joining in as we try to bring you context to the story. Jagdish Tytler called in right now by the CBI for questioning. You can see visuals of him on the right side of your screens right now. You remember that just as close as in December, the Congress included him in one of their selection committees to much protest from BJP leaders who said that he should very much be treated as an accused because his role was still being investigated in the 1984 case. As my colleague Pallavi told us a little while earlier, the Nanavati Commission had been formed. They released their report in 2005 where they had investigated exactly this. Now, Sajjan Kumar, who was one of the 3 Congress leaders whose role was being investigated in a very large way, Sajjan Kumar has been convicted for life, and we have touched on that over the last few minutes. Jagdish Tytler and his role, remember, continue to be investigated as we speak. Now, my colleague Anshul is with us to bring us a lot more in terms of context. Anshul, walk our audiences down history lane, please. For the audiences that are uninitiated, tell us, what did various reports say Tytler's role was in 1984? Then walk us through the Nanavati Commission's findings. Walk us through Tytler's role in the Congress party over the last few decades. Bring us all of that context, please.
So yes, Jagdish Tytler, he is one of the main accused of the entire riot that broke out in 1984 post the murder of Indira Gandhi. He is one of the main accused in this entire matter. And today, the CBI, as it was investigating the case for the past many years now, CBI has called Jagdish Tytler to the CBI headquarters, where they are going to go ahead and take his voice samples. Because remember, there are many videos and there are many audio files of that entire incident, where it was being said that Jagdish Tytler was the person who actually instigated the crowd to take action against the Sikhs. And in fact, in many areas of the national capital, especially in West Delhi, Jagdish Tytler was the person who was heading that entire mob, the mob which went into many houses, burned many houses, killed many Sikhs in that entire riot that broke out at that point. So since then, Jagdish Tytler has been said as the main accused in this entire matter, along with other Congress leaders such as the likes of Kamal Nath, who is also one of the accused in this entire case. So yes, this investigation has been going on for long. The CBI said that they have found some new evidences in this entire case. They have found some new videos in this entire matter, and hence it becomes of utmost importance for the CBI to make sure that the voice in those videos is of Jagdish Tytler and that voice is not tampered with. And hence Jagdish Tytler has again been called to the CBI headquarters, where his voice samples will be taken, and that samples would be sent for forensic testing, where it will prove if at all the voice that the CBI has at this point in time is of Jagdish Tytler, because it is of utmost importance for the CBI at this point to prove that Jagdish Tytler was the person who was actually involved in this entire case, and hence this new proofs that the CBI has been able to gather through its investigation. It becomes very, very important for the CBI to make sure that Jagdish Tytler's voice is in there, so that it could be made a point in that charge sheet that is going to be filed. So yes, so problems are going to raise for Jagdish Tytler. However, if you talk about his role within the Congress party, he is still very much a member of the Congress party. The Congress party has still not punished him in any way or any manner, Jagdish Tytler, although he is not in the decision-making body of the Congress party, but yes, he still is very much a part of the Congress party, and that is the reason why we see that any big protest that is carried out in the national capital or anywhere, Jagdish Tytler is one of the person who is present in those protests. But yes, there is a lot of hue and cry, there is a lot of anger that is against Jagdish Tytler, because yes, he is the prime accused in this entire matter. So yes, it remains to be seen as the new facts that have come to the fore, the new proof that have come to the fore. Will the CBI be able to build an airtight case in this very, very long investigation that has been carried out by the CBI, where the people who suffered from that massive attack, in fact, generations of those people have been affected. In fact, kids of those people who were affected are still running from pillar to post to get justice, to get jobs for themselves, as was promised by the then government. So yes, all these questions are very, very pertinent, or the answers to these questions needs to be answered at the earliest, because yes, people are still awaiting justice. The people who had actually no involvement in the killing of Indira Gandhi, they were punished in such a brutal manner, especially in the national capital. So yes, okay. The pressure is on the CBI to make sure that they come up with...
Just stay with us, please, 1 second. Darshan Kaur is with us. She is a woman victim of the 1984 riots. मिस कौर हमारे साथ जुड़ने के लिए धन्यवाद। मिस कौर, कहीं ऐसे मौके रहे हैं जब आप कांग्रेस के लीडर्स के बारे में, उनके रोल के बारे में आप कुछ कहना चाहते हैं हमारे चैनल को, उसके बारे में मैम?
जी, मैं कहना चाहूँगी 84 में इतने दंगे हुए, 5000 सिखों का कत्लेआम हुआ और हजारों गुरु ग्रंथ साहब जलाए गए और बहन बेटियों की इज्जत लूटी गई। तो वो किसने? सरकार ने नहीं देखा। सरकार ने जब करवाया है तो उनको सरकार कैसे सजा देगी उनको? हमें अभी तक 40 साल होने को आए, हमें अभी तक इंसाफ नहीं मिला। जो इंसाफ मिलना था हमें नहीं मिला इंसाफ। हम दर भटक रहे हैं, हमारे बच्चे रुल रहे हैं। अभी तक हमारे बच्चों को नौकरियां नहीं दी हैं किसी ने भी, एक ही पहली सरकार ने भी। और ना ही वो उनको छोड़ देते हैं जिन्होंने ये काम किया है, उनको छोड़ देते हैं जिन्होंने सरेआम कत्लेआम करवाया, उनको छोड़ देते हैं, उनको सड़कों पे घूमने देते हैं। ये कहाँ का इंसाफ है? हम जाएं तो जाएं, कहाँ जाएं? कौन सी सरकार से इंसाफ मांगे? कि हमारे गुरु ग्रंथ साहब की बेदबी की उन्होंने, हमारे आदमियों को जिंदा जला दिया, मार दिया। हम इतना बड़ा जिगरा लेके इसी दिल्ली में, इसी इंडिया में घूम रहे हैं कि हमें कहीं से तो इंसाफ मिले, लेकिन हम जाएं तो कौन सी सरकार के पास जाएं हम जो हमें इंसाफ देगा? जो भी सरकार आती है अपनी गद्दी पे बैठ जाती है। हमारा 84 का कोई नहीं सोचता कि इनके साथ भी इतना बुरा हुआ है और सरेआम इनके आदमियों को काट के मार दिया, जला दिया गया है। तो हम कहाँ जाएं? हमारे को भी मार देते, हमारे को क्यों छोड़ दिया? फिर हमारे को इसलिए छोड़ दिया कि हम दर-दरों की ठोकरें खाते रहे, हमारे बच्चे अनाथ हो गए, हम अनाथ हो गए। हमारी कोई भी नहीं सुनवाई, कहीं पे भी नहीं कोई सरकार हमारी सुनवाई करती हो तो हम उनके पास जाएं। कौन सी सरकार हमारी सुनवाई करती है? उनको फांसी क्यों नहीं देती है? सज्जन कुमार भी आज देखो आप, तो वो ऐश कर रहे हैं, ऐशों की जिंदगी जी रहे हैं जेलों में। हमारे कहाँ हैं? हमारे आदमी कहाँ हैं? हमारे परिवार कहाँ है? हमारे को तो इन्होंने बिल्कुल सड़क पे लाके और खड़ा कर दिया। क्या हमारा कसूर था? क्या कसूर था हमारा जो हमें इन्होंने इंसाफ भी नहीं दिया और हमें दर-दर की ठोकरें खाने के लिए छोड़ दिया? और आप देखो जाके तिलक विहार में कितनी विधवाएं हैं, कितनों का घर उजड़ा हुआ है। हमारा घर इन्होंने उजाड़ के और सरेआम ये अपनी सीटों पे बिठाते हैं, उनको टिकट देते हैं, उनको पार्टी में लेके आते हैं, उनको ये नहीं पूछते कि आपने ये जुल्म किया है कि आप हमारी जिंदगी से निकल जाओ, हमारी पार्टी से निकल जाओ। नहीं, उनको फिर ला के खड़ा कर देते हैं सड़क पे। इनको वोट चाहिए, इनको राजनीति चाहिए और कुछ नहीं है। उनको देश से कोई मतलब नहीं है। कोई क्या कर रहा है, कोई किसी को काट रहा है, कोई किसी को मार रहा है, कोई जिंदा जला रहा है, कोई बेबस हो रहा है, कोई कुछ कर रहा है, लेकिन सरकार को कोई जू तक नहीं है कि हमारे सिर पे।
मिस कौर, हमारे साथ जुड़ने के लिए धन्यवाद। दैट इज दर्शन कौर. She was one of the witnesses in the 1984 violence. As you heard, she's understandably still very, very angry. That's all that we have for you in this show. Thank you for watching the Breaking News Show. We continue to bring you all of the country's top stories.